Hey guys, so Mike Fitz, the president of Tulane University, gave me some of his time to interview him about himself, Tulane University, and kind of get advice for prospective students. So yeah, let's get on with the video.
Hey, Alex.
How you doing, President Fitz? Thank
How
you
are you?
so doing well, staying safe, just trying to stay healthy. How about yourself?
I'm good. I'm good. Now, where are you physically right now?
I'm physically in the LBC in that one lobby right next to Pocket Park. Ideally, I was supposed to be in the business school, but I couldn't find a breakout room. So yeah, this was the next best thing I could find.
Yeah. So, how's your semester been?
It's been pretty good. Yeah, so right now I'm taking my little gap year because I'm in this 7-year medical program. So I've been working full time for a golf organization. So I've been playing a lot of golf and teaching little kids golf, which is yeah, super good time, I guess.
That's great. That's great.
Yeah.
So, you're ultimately, when do you start medical school?
I started medical school in fall of 2021, so pretty much a year from now.
What kind of doctor do you want to be?
Don't know yet. That's the $1 million question right there. Yeah, still trying to figure things out, see what I'm passionate about, but yeah, we'll figure it out eventually.
I know the feeling. My daughter's a doctor, so
Okay, gotcha. What medicine does she practice?
she's a resident now, second year in pediatric neurology.
Oh, okay.
A little narrow field.
Very, very precise too, because you're working with little babies. Yeah. Well, yeah. Thank you so much for meeting with me. I basically just shot the shot and asked to interview you, and I was just so excited when your team said yes. So yeah, thank you so much.
So, thank you, and I understand this podcast is it gets a lot of play. So you've really been quite the entrepreneur.
Yeah. So exactly a year ago yesterday, I started my YouTube channel centralized around Tulane, because I mean I love the school and. It really opened up a lot of opportunities, including making the homecoming videos. I'm sure you saw those. And
Right. They were great.
yeah,
Thank you. Really appreciate it.
yeah, had a really good time. And I've been receiving a lot of DMs on Instagram and a lot of messages on LinkedIn and stuff like that from prospective students. And I thought that what better way to kind of give a little bit more substance to them than to interview the president of Tulane. So that's why I decided to reach out.
Well, thank you. Thank you for giving me this opportunity.
Thank you for saying yes. Yeah. So my main audience is prospective students.
Right.
So I get about I think like 4,000 unique viewers every month, and a lot of them are prospective students. So that's kind of how I'd like to tailor this interview towards. Like I remember when we first ate brunch.
Right. Way back when, right?
Yeah, way back when we could meet up in person. Yeah. So I remember. I don't know. I honestly, when I came to Tulane, I was kind of intimidated because I was like, "Oh my gosh, this is the president of Tulane." But I kind of want to give that I don't know. You give that father like just warm, huggable feeling. So I kind of want to share that with the prospective students and the current students who watch my channel. So, yeah, that's
Pretty much.
That's great.
Yep, that's okay. So the first question I have for you is, how did you kind of become president of Tulane? I know you came from UPenn, but what was kind of your how'd you end up here in New Orleans at Tulane University?
So, I had been dean of a law school, and given what I had been doing, I was approached by a number of institutions about considering whether or not I wanted to be president. But quite frankly, Tulane was different. I fell in love with Tulane, and that's why I took the job. It was both the culture of Tulane, the relational aspects of the institution that I thought were absolutely critical to your undergraduate experience and a great education, for a whole host of reasons, both your ability to meet and connect with students from all over the country and world, to learn from them. I just thought that was so special about Tulane, and really different from almost every other institution I'd ever seen. And so it was that, as well as sort of this related sort of menu of academic opportunities, both liberal arts and science and engineering to professional education, which allowed students to sort of take advantage of the full range of academic life. That combination of a warm, engaging culture and a breadth of academic opportunities. I don't know of another university in the country that offered that combination. It was the ability to sort of to be part of that and to sort of leverage that to really help Tulane be clearly for the right student the best place in the country to get an education.
Yeah, because when I first came here, one thing that I really appreciated was the ability to pursue interdisciplinary pathways and take classes in all the other schools. Yeah, for example, like my favorite class I ever took here at Tulane was glass blowing, and I don't think if I went to any other university I could have taken glass blowing. Yeah, so that kind of leads into one of my other questions, like if you could take any class at Tulane, what would it be?
So it's a little bit like asking a parent, you know, who their favorite child is. So you know, fundamentally, let me start out by saying the other aspect of Tulane that sort of jumped out at me is how much the faculty care about their teaching. We're part of a great research university. The faculty are leaders in their fields, but whether it's the size, whether it's the culture, whether it's their commitment to what they're doing, they love teaching. They love it. They care about it. So again, I don't want to select out any in particular. Let me just say, I happen to be, you know, I visit classes periodically, and literally the last class I attended was Peter Raschudi's Birkenroad class, and Peter is in the business school, and it epitomizes sort of what's great about Tulane. He's an incredibly engaging, careful teacher, top of his field, but it's also real world. It's teaching students how to, in a sense, analyze companies and how to take advantage of them. So it was a great class. You know, I must say, I also have to comment on Jesmyn Ward. You know, she is seldom in any university do you get somebody who's truly a leader of their generation, and she is literally one of the greatest writers of our generation or any generation. And to think that she's teaching here at Tulane is just sends shivers down my spine. I probably couldn't get into her class. It's a small class on writing, but I just love to take her class as well. And I had the privilege of seeing her in a variety of different settings as a speaker, and you know, just an incredible testament to what Tulane has to offer.
Yeah, I'm sure the prospective students would appreciate you saying that, because I don't know, when I came here, I saw all these different types of classes I could take, and I had just wonderful professors my freshman year. So it's great. But
so what I always tell students is, if you're majoring in science or engineering or business, you should take an English and history class. Or if you're an English and history major, you should take classes in business school or architecture or engineering. You really, you know, this is the breadth of opportunities that we have at Tulane that you just don't get. You know, higher education has these gargantuan universities that it's impossible to really take advantage because everything's siloed. Then they have these small colleges that don't have the opportunities. We're in the middle, and I view that as the best of both worlds.
Yeah, and something I really appreciate are the Newcomb Tulane College requirements, where you have to have like the international perspectives, the Western traditions, and other things like that. So I remember when I was choosing between classes, I was like, okay, do I take plays and playwrights, or do I take Brazilian dance? Like I couldn't decide.
And you took glass blowing, right?
I took glass blowing for my fine arts credit. Yeah, so it's just it's been a wonderful experience so far, and I just can't wait to see what there is. So yeah, Tulane's constantly growing with the I think at the phase one of the massive construction project in place of Bruff Commons, and the science and engineering complex that's soon going to be renovated. So I guess one question I have is, like, what goals do you have for Tulane 5 years from now or 10 years from now? Where do you see Tulane going in the future?
So the Tulane 5 years and 10 years from now will, in a sense, look like it does now, but at the same time, there's so many aspects of it that I think will continue to take off. You mentioned the new science and engineering building. We are, again, our strength is ability to cross fields. And so we're building this massive new science and engineering building, but in the center of the campus on the academic quad, it'll be as big as the Commons. But unlike other universities that put their science and engineering buildings way out on the periphery, it's going to be at the core of the university so students can take advantage of it up front. And again, connecting science and engineering and the rest of the field. We're building a new residential quad. And it's, again, one of the strengths of Tulane is the ability to bring all these students together from across the country and the globe and to have them connect with one another. And the new residential quad will be learning communities. It'll be residences, but it'll be classrooms. It'll be places for people to hang out and eat. Faculty will be living there. It truly will be a true community and a place where we can bring students together. Again, you asked me why I was attracted to Tulane. It's this ability to bring people together, and we have a campus physically that does that. It's compact. People run into each other, whether it's the LBC or the Commons or the Walk or anywhere, all the time. And it's that sort of combination, and we're building on that with science and engineering and what will be a new residential learning community across the curriculum. The other piece is we're building a campus downtown.
An undergrad camp or a totally separate campus?
We now have 3 schools downtown: the medical school, the School of Public Health, and the School of Social Work. But we have exploding in our research, in light of COVID-19 and our emphasis on infectious disease. Our research has gone up 50% in the medical school over the last year. So the downtown, we're looking to expand. And as you'll take advantage of
for sure.
in the medical school, but we're in the process of taking over part of the old charity hospital and truly building a campus downtown for those schools and for our students as well.
Gotcha. Yeah, I remember reading somewhere that Tulane bought Charity Hospital, and I remember driving by at night and there's some lights on. So are they planning on, they can't demolish it, right? So are they planning on just building from within it and continuously renovating it?
We're in the process of discussing exactly what we do. We have, but the old Charity Hospital is one of the great hospitals in the history of the United States. It closed after Katrina. It's adjacent to our schools, and we're really looking to, in a sense, use a lot of it for the medical school, School of Public Health, as well as social work, and as a place for research and for students to really integrate together on that campus.
Gotcha. Yeah.
As you know, our uptown campus is spectacular, but we're landlocked, right? We can't expand much more than we have, and so what we're looking for is a lot of our graduate education will be in the downtown campus.
Gotcha. Well, I had no idea. And yeah, that's definitely something I can't wait to see, because I'm going to be here for another 5 years. So yeah, definitely going to take advantage of those resources. But yeah, to go back to Tulane's compact enough where you can always run into someone. And that's something I really appreciate, because I know I can walk into any building and know at least someone, which, yeah, some prospective students text me and they're like, hey, is it hard to meet new people? Or is it's probably the easiest it's so easy at Tulane.
There are some campuses of other universities, which will have to remain nameless, where you have to take a plane from one end to the other. And we have, in a sense, a long and narrow campus, which leads everybody to run into each other. You walk down the walk and you literally see half of the student body. And that's what's so attractive about Tulane University, and from my perspective, as a physical way.
Mm-hmm. And as compact as it is, I'm so impressed that the Commons was built in such a centralized location that was so creative. And I mean, obviously replaced Brough Commons. It was in a better location, better facility, and overall just better climate. So I lived in Greenbaum last year, so it was just a walk down. I really appreciate how centralized that was.
Everything, right.
Yeah. So that leads me to my next, I guess, fun question. But what's your favorite station at the Commons? If you walk into the Commons, what meal would you go? What's your go-to meal?
Okay, so I have to preface my answer, because my answer is embarrassing. But I'll explain why. So when I was growing up, what was my favorite food? I loved the cheese Whopper at Burger King. And when I first came to Tulane, I was asked in a newspaper interview where I'd eaten the night before. And of course, the standard line in New Orleans, well, it's Galatoire's, Commander's Palace, one of these places. I blurted out very quickly the truth, which is I'd eaten dinner at Popeye's the night before, which horrified the reporter when the words blurted out of my mouth. So let me just say, for me, the grill and pizza are my go-to places at the Commons. Now, having said that, let me say, while I'm not a fine eater, I am the parent of a fine eater. My daughter is a foodie, and I appreciate in 1,000 different ways what the Commons offers. When we knocked down Brough and built the Commons, we understood that this generation, is all about food and the variety of food. So the Commons, I think, has more than doubled the space of the provision of food and the preparation of food and the kinds of food we give. So it's got an incredible array of different types of vegetarian food and the whole panoply of things that you might want. I'm not the paradigm of somebody who would have a cheeseburger.
Yeah. And I think the Commons was built at, I think, the perfect moment because of such the spacious facility. I don't think at Brough we could have had social distancing whatsoever. So yeah, we're super grateful for the Commons. But yeah.
Brough, I think, was 450 people could eat in Brough, not even coming close to socially distanced. They would have been right next to
right next to each other. Yeah.
The Commons, you're absolutely right, was built at precisely the right moment. It holds, I think, 1,100 to 1,200 people,
Gotcha.
Not socially distanced, but you can easily hold 600 people or 500 people socially distant, which never could have done in the old days.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and it's, as you know, it's a spectacular. It's not just a spectacular place because of the food, but it's a spectacular place to sort of hang out and just when the hurricane went through a couple of weeks ago, we invited everybody of the community to come in and have meals and to hang out, and of course the place was packed with people all over New Orleans.
I'm so grateful for that too. Yeah, I was one of those off-campus students who lost power, and the free food, I was like, oh, I'm eating 3 meals a day for sure. And yeah, like literally right before I came here, I was chilling in the Commons. I wasn't even eating. I was just with a friend. She was taking a class, and it's just, I mean, with the outlets there, it's such open space. It's the perfect environment for learning and eating, and what more could you ask for sure.
Down, I have to ask you, what's your favorite station at the Commons?
So definitely carved where the meat is. This year I realized that I need to be, I mean, I've always been pretty outgoing, but I've become a lot more outgoing. I've been talking to the Sodexo employees, and I've become super good friends with like James and Wilfred, who are there at the station all the time. And I always have this like good 30-second conversation while they're serving me. And I may back up the line a little bit because we're having a good conversation, but it's definitely having them as friends, serving me, and then love meat, gotta continue to get the protein for sure.
Not like my daughter, who's a devout vegetarian.
I bet she loves the chef's, if she did come to Tulane, she'd love the chef's table because they got the vegetarian option as well as the meat option and the, yeah, good delicacies up there. So yeah, a little transition, I guess, into another topic is New Orleans. A lot of students choose Tulane or apply to Tulane because of the lively city of New Orleans. So you came from Pennsylvania. So had you visited New Orleans before you decided to work for Tulane?
But primarily, I have to say at conventions. I came in and sort of, sort of got a sense of the city as part of that. But, let me just say, there's no city in the country quite like New Orleans. And you say that, and people who never been here don't quite get it, because it's a mixture of old and new, of diversity and creativity. It's just it's unique. The famous Tennessee Williams line, which I love to quote, he said there were 3 cities in the United States: New York, San Francisco, and New Orleans. Now his next line, and I'm quoting him, I'm not necessarily agreeing. He said everywhere else is Cleveland. But obviously it's been called the #1 college town in the United States. But what it is it's a diverse, creative, quirky, out of the box type city. And for me, what's so attractive about it is that's what a great university is about. It's innovative, it's diverse, it's trying new things. It's recognizing what's good about the old, but moving in different directions. And that's New Orleans, right? And of course, the good food.
Yeah. Yeah. So my follow-up question was like, what's your favorite festival in New Orleans?
Favorite festival?
There's so many to choose from. There's a festival for each day of the year, but what's one that like just stands out?
I don't know if Jazz Fest counts as a festival.
Definitely does,
yeah, Jazz Fest is, and in fact, what I've done in the past is close the president's office, and we've all gone to Jazz Fest.
Really?
Yeah,
okay.
no,
Together?
It's just, it's just sort of a breadth of different musical opportunities that you can take advantage of. So, before I ever came to Tulane, more people commented on Jazz Fest than anything else by 10 times.
Really? Okay.
So now I have to say, Crawfest is a wonderful Tulane festival. I think it's actually it may be the largest attendance I've heard in New Orleans of any festival, and it was started by Tulane's students. So it's a wonderful event. The only thing is, I must confess, it's so hard for me to eat crawfish. It's so much work goes into it. It's not, the result is great, but the amount of effort going into it is huge. So
yeah,
that's my one downside with crawfish.
Yeah, a lot of effort for just a little piece of meat right there. Yeah, so when I first visited Tulane, I visited my senior year in high school, and it was on the weekend of Crawfest. So my mom and I walked down McAllister, and we looked to our left after our tour, and my mom's like, "This is not typical for a college." So yeah, I'm proud to say that I've experienced 2 Crawfests, my senior year in high school and my freshman year of college. I'm very bummed that last year was canceled and this year likely will be canceled, but I'm hoping the incoming freshmen next year will
take advantage.
We'll take advantage of it for sure. Yeah, I was gonna say you answered my next question, which was, what's your favorite festival at Tulane?
Oh, right. I should combine them to. I have to say I love homecoming at Tulane, Wave Week and homecoming, just because it brings together all the students, the parents, and the alumni in one weekend. So I found incredibly enjoyable. But for personal reasons as president, brings together all the different families that are part of Tulane.
Yeah.
my freshman year, I also remember all the festival rides, which was pretty crazy on the LBC quad. Wish we could have done that the following year, but
You know, as you saw today, another vaccine is just come out. So I have to believe certainly next fall will be totally different at Tulane. And it's possible even parts of the spring semester will be very different because of the vaccine.
Definitely
That's
looking
my
forward
hope.
to it. Yeah.
so I want to respect your time. So my final question is a question that I asked you when we ate brunch together my freshman year. And that question is, what advice do you have for incoming Tulane students?
Such a broad question.
Yeah, no, I mean, let me say, there's nothing like the college experience. And I say that, you know, people grow up, you know, in high school and they tend to be very narrowed in what they're doing. You live in a certain community, you associate with people, you know, in your school that tend to be like you. And after you graduate and enter a career, you know, you tend to narrow. There's nothing like college where you get to engage with people from all over, close up, get to know them in ways you'll never be able to experiment in classes, in academic areas, getting to know people. I mean, I talk on the one hand about the importance of diversity, and diversity is so much a part of your college experience, getting to know people who are just so different than you are, and as people, and so take advantage of that. Take advantage of this time to really grow. You know, partake of the feast, which is Tulane University.
Gotcha. Yeah.
I like to, whenever prospective students ask me that, because I used to be a tour guide last year, I said take advantage of every opportunity because Tulane hands that to you on a silver platter. It's only, all you have to do is just feast from it, take part in it, for sure. Yeah. Well,
And
it's
eat at the Commons too.
Yeah, eat at the Commons for sure. Try that out. Well, it's 1:30. Yeah. Thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate this.
Alex, thank you for everything you've done at Tulane and that incredible tour as part of homecoming. And we look forward to seeing you as a medical student at Tulane University.
Yeah, I'm excited to see where it goes. Well, thank you so much. I know you probably have a super busy day, but yeah.
Thank you, Alex. I've enjoyed this.
All right. Thank you. Okay.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye.
You too. Bye-bye.